Good afternoon. You're right on time for Newsfeed. My name is Linda Alela. Let's start off as the Amnesty International Kenya and the Institute of Certified Accountants have launched a project dubbed Wapinduru Project. The project is aimed at encouraging whistleblowing among accountants and acknowledging that silence in the face of financial malpractice is a great enabler of human rights violations. DPP Nordin Haji has agreed that his office will support the project. Let's listen into that.
Fight for the realization of Chapter 6 and professional integrity with the management of public and private resources or finances. The second thing, obviously, is that we are in a pandemic. And as we have seen in the newspapers in the last two to 3 days, the pandemic profiteering that we have seen in countries like Poland, in countries like Iceland and Cameroon and Uganda, that pandemic profiteering is now on our doorsteps. We now know that 12 companies were involved in deals and procurement practices that are now the subject of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And I don't wish to pass judgment at this point because we don't have enough information, but what we do know is that they are investigating issues of hoarding, issues of inflated prices, and that some of these companies do not have, they are not registered with the Register of Companies, their shareholders are not known, and the company of directors or the directors are either deleted from the system or that they are worthy of further investigation. The program that we are about to run is essentially a program to support accountants to be able to become whistleblowers in their workplaces. Of course, is well known, and I'll invite Rose Marara to speak to that, to the power of accountants and auditors in the context of corruption and also in the context of professional, essentially come from the understanding that if we are to slay this corruption monster, it will have to start with the leadership of auditors and accountants. And over the next 6 months, with the kind support of the United Nations Development Program, we are essentially going to put the tools and the knowledge into the hands of accountants to be able to make their contribution in stopping corruption and stemming the danger that faces this nation of impunity. I'll stop there because I know we have very short time.
And a group of Nairobi youth have come out to support former Gatanga lawmaker Peter Kenneth in his 2022 bid. This comes at a time Kenneth has been holding meetings to position himself to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta as the Mount Kenya region's kingpin.
Here as different leaders from Mount Kenya region in Nairobi, and the reason why we are here is to support Honorable Peter Kenneth, and we as the people of Mount Kenya region, Nairobi chapter, and the youth at large of this great nation would like to state that we rally our full support behind the former Gatanga Member of Parliament, Honorable Peter Kenneth. We endorse him as the Mount Kenya region kingpin and spokesperson once the term of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta comes to an end in 2022. As a region, we clearly understand that we need a spokesperson at the negotiation table, just like any other region country. And the only super person.
The tourism sector in the North Coast region is slowly beginning to recover after over 4-month closure due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So far, reports indicate that 40% of the resorts which rely on the domestic market have already reopened since the beginning of August with full compliance of the coronavirus protocols.
As we speak right now, around 40% of the hotels have reopened. And most of the hotels, what happens in the hotel industry is that you have to comply. The public health have to come and check that you are compliant. You have to make sure that the restaurant has the 1.5 meter separation with each other with the table. You have to put the dispensers for the sanitizing the hands. You have to get the places for washing the hands. You also have, as you can see here, we are having mandatory mask places. When you are in public areas, you must have your mask on. That is what we are doing.
We opened up on the 1st of August to a small opening, thinking that it would be a little bit quieter than it has been. We're very lucky to say that we achieved on the opening weekend a 60% occupancy for the resort, and it's been pretty stable.
And currently, the chair of Council of Governors, Wycliffe Oparanya, is addressing the media alongside other governors. And let's cross over to the Westlands offices, that is Delta offices, and listening to what it is.
Conduct and enhance awareness campaign of COVID-19 prevention, diagnosis, and treatment in all areas within their jurisdiction. Number 3, county government will work closely with the county commissioners and security agencies on enforcement of existing protocol. The Council of Governors shall nominate participants to sit in the Education Stakeholders Committee for purposes of inclusivity and ensure devolved aspects in education are considered. Number 5, the Ministry of Health will develop a protocol to temporarily recall retired or retain retiring ICU staff to support the medical staff assigned to deal with serious COVID-19 cases in the counties for a period of 3 months. I want to emphasize this one because I've seen some union holding strikes that they will go to strikes if we recall retirees. These retirees were to be considered for special areas where there is a gap, but counties that do not have gaps do not need actually to recall retired staff and those that are retiring, because this was a request by some governors who feel they still have gaps in their counties, because by the time of when the first infection was discovered, some counties didn't have ICUs. So some are having ICUs for the first time, and the issue of staff definitely will be a challenge. And the national government has agreed that for that particular purpose, they are ready to pay for those particular staff for the next 3 months. So I do not see why some union will be concerned about this particular issue. Number 4, we agreed that all doctors on state leave or any other leave shall be recalled with immediate effect to support the fight. And then number 7, the Minister of Health shall expedite conclusion of the construction of health facilities under the Equitable Fund program and hand them over to respective county government on priority basis. This is very important because there are some health facilities that were constructed using Equitable Fund, the Equalization Fund. And this was done by the national government, and because this was a devolved function, we went to court as Council of Governors, and the court ruled that these particular facilities should be handed over to county government. So we are saying that the Minister of Health should respect the court order so that we are able, the court judgment, so that we are able to handle these particular facilities under our own jurisdiction. we wish to inform you that the county governments have already embarked on implementation of the above summit resolution agreed upon. In the past few days, we have witnessed an increased number of coronavirus cases in the country, with West Pokot being the latest county to record a positive case, bringing the total number of affected counties to 46. It is only Samburu now that where we don't have a case. When I was here last time, there were 3 counties, Samburu, West Pokot, and there was another one, I can't remember, that didn't have cases. Now, they all have cases except Samburu. And Baringo. There were 3, West Pokot, Baringo, and Samburu. Now Baringo has, West Pokot has, and it's only Samburu. The number of fatalities have also increased in the past few days. This week, we lost a frontline worker from Homa Bay County who passed on 2nd August 2020. Our deepest condolences to go out to all the families who have lost their beloved ones. We also wish to thank the Senate for agreeing to our request to have our meeting held virtually, especially those meetings involving PAC, where we discuss the auditor's report. And in the last 1.5 weeks, the 47 counties have addressed themselves to the following. 1, implementation of home-based care. This is very critical because as there are some people who are not very serious, they don't need to go to hospital, they can stay in their homes. But the protocol that guides this is the issue that we are looking into. The uptake for home-based care in 4 counties has been positive, and this has proven to be an efficient alternative in managing COVID-19 outside the health facilities. Cumulatively in 46 counties, there are 2,129 patients under the home care. Further, 420 patients confined under home-based care have recovered. I wish to report that the Council of Governors convened a forum to share experiences on implementation of home-based care in counties and emerging lessons thereof. This approach will enhance counties' effort in strengthening the structure, processes, and services involved in home-based care. Number 2, emergency response committees. So far, 265 sub-counties out of 273 sub-counties have established emergency response committees. The sub-committees also have functional rapid response teams to aid the COVID-19.
And away from that, Association of Private Schools Owners in Nyeri County are appealing to the government to push on them against the harsh economic times occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. The association says most of the teachers, support staff and suppliers who depend on these institutions for employment have not received cash for the past 4 months and are in dire need of support.
There are so many resources that are given now, even the world over, to cushion the COVID. Maybe those private sectors need also to be supported. And in this issue, maybe the one that I should talk about is, can we get a credit to our directors so that they can be able to meet the very immediate issues, particularly to the teachers that went home, and even their suppliers, They needed also to pay those suppliers. There were those subordinate staff, like the cooks, and the rest, and the washermen. Is it possible that they can be supported with a fund from the government so that they can be able to cushion these institutions? We have had very minimal, and the only one case that I've had is only one in
Moving on, residents of KCC village in Naivasha have been using water from River Malewa to bathe and wash their clothes. Due to hard economic times, many of them cannot afford water from local water vendors. Willie Dennis Njiru spoke to them and filed the following report from Naivasha.
Beneath the bridge on the busy Naivasha-Nairobi highway flows the famous River Malewa as it enters the final stretch to the Lake Naivasha. It is a blessing in disguise as the flow of the river across a village in the outskirts of Naivasha town remains a blessing. Each day tens of locals flood here with piles of clothes for cleaning, others with utensils, while others do take a bath here.
Hakuna kitu mbaya huko, tunafuria huko, tunakunywa maji huko, tunaoga. Maji ni mzuri, hakuna mtu mwenye amegonjeka hapa na corona. Na kolera si corona.
Tunaona sasa nikisema nikubeba na mgongo sitaweza. Sasa ninafulia hapa. Na nini? Sasa hiyo maji yenye ningebeba nifulie huko, nakuja nafua sasa yenye ndabeba ni kutumia.
The river is currently on a low season, but during a rainy season it poses a great threat to the locals.
Wakati mwingine hii maji ikijaa inafika hadi huko juu kabisa. Na ikifika huko juu hatuwezi kuja kufua. Hatuwezi fua kwa sababu maji imejaa na viboko ni mingi na hata huwezi tuma mtoto kuja kufua. Sasa tunafurahianga senye hii maji senye iko hivi sasa venye ijajaa. Kukianza kunyesha ikijaa hatuwezi fua.
A 20 liters gallon in KCC village goes for 3 shillings, but the tough economic times in here to many is an option for a river wash.
Sasa security yenyewe huwezi kuja hapa kufua asubuhi mapema. Juu kama uko na shughuli inabidi umefua usiku anini saa hii. Juu ukikuja jioni hakuna security. Huku kwetu KCC hatuna shida ya maji. Maji tuko nayo pale kwa tanki, hiyo inauzwa. Lakini sisi tumezoea maji ya Malewa.
Kitu tunaweza waomba tu kama ni serikali inaweza tusaidia, itusaidie kama ni matanki ya kunawa mkono na hii maski ya hii watoto kwa hii hali ya corona yenye tuko na.
Unlike in the rural areas where a river within is a beneficial natural resource in farm use, here it's a different insinuation.
Hatuna treatments zozote, tunaaminingi tu ni safi, hata kama ni chafu sisi tunaamini ni safi.
Hatu treat kitu yote, unajua saa nyingine tunaambiwa tuweke water gun. Mimi sijawahi. Na kunywa mpaka ukichota hivi unaona zile dudu zinatembea.
This health hazard becoming an eyesore to all along the coast, despite of many here alluding to the presence of water in the village.
Hii maji ni chafu. Na sisi ni wageni tumekuja huku tunaona watu wanafulia, wengine wanachota, wanaenda kupigia, wanaenda kukunywa. Alafu wengine wanaogelea ndani.
Reporting for TV47 from Naivasha in Nakuru County, my name is
Well, interesting piece there by Willie. And moving on, Narok County government has donated more than 100 wheelbarrows, rakes and spades to the national government to boost Kazim Tani project that was launched by the president with a plan to improve life of youth in Kenya by providing job opportunities. Speaking after receiving the tools, Narok County Commissioner Samuel Kimiti thanked the county government for its effort to support the Kazim Tani initiative, saying these tools will be distributed to 4 sub-counties in Narok to help 3,000 youths who are currently working under the program.
Na mask, watakuwa na gumboot na watakuwa na gloves, hizo watajitafutia, lakini naye national government itawalipa ile wage ambao wanapata ya 1,500 kila siku. County government naye ilikuwa itoe vifaa hizi za kusaidia hiyo kazi. Saa hii tuko na vijana wale ambao wale tumeajiri wale wa kufanya kazi ni 3,181.
Kama kwa kushirikiana karibu na national government, county government ilikuwa na jukumu la kutafuta vifaa ambayo vijana hao wataweza kufanya nayo kazi, na kwa hakika leo tuko na vifaa ambazo tumelete hapa. Tuko na wheelbarrow karibu 106 ambazo tunazi-distribute kwa hizo cohorts ambazo tuko nazo, ambayo kwa kila kwa cohort ya group watu 15 watapata wheelbarrow. Tuko pia na rake,
Migori County government, through the CEC in charge of health, Iska Oluoch, has dismissed reports which took center stage on social media that 48 members of a family in Ongwethi village in Migori County had contracted coronavirus. According to CEC, only 7 people from the family tested positive for the virus. Business was at a standstill for the better part of the morning or ahead of the burial of the brother to the former speaker who succumbed to COVID-19, leaving relatives affected with the virus.
Sunday, as part of our routine work now, I call it routine because that's what we usually do almost every other day. We conducted once a positive case was realized. We started contact tracing. Of course, somebody died, and after his death, we realized it was a positive case. So we had to round up, quickly move, just to contain any further spread. So both primary and secondary contacts were tested. We were able to test 48 people from that one family, from a family. And from all the 48 contacts traced, 14 were positive.
Now, farmers in Kamulu, Machakos County are counting losses after their crops dried up due to contamination of water used for irrigation on their farms. The farmers say the water released by Machakos Sewage Company in River Athi has caused contamination of the water, leading to losses since they cannot use the water for any purpose, including irrigation. The farmers are now calling on Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua to look into the situation.
Na tumeathirika sana na maji ilimwagwa kwa mto last week part 1, na hii ni kitu kimekuwa ikiendelea kwa muda. Chakula zetu zimekauka, fish zimekufa, wanyama hawakunywa hiyo maji, wakikunywa wanakufa. Tunaomba Mutua Alfred, tulikuchagua kama gavana wetu, utatusaidiaje? Tumepata shida kubwa sana kwa sababu ya sewage disposal ya hii kampuni ya Mavoko Sewage Treatment ambayo iko hapa Kinani, na kampuni za EPZ na zingine zinafanya kazi huko upande wa River, the disposal ya waste hapo kwa hiyo kampuni. Na sasa tumepata hasara kwa sababu mimea yetu imekauka sana.
Ren, now to sports.